Welcome back once again to Recovery Coast to Coast. Great to have you with us tonight. Of course, it is holiday time, and we've been taking a look at a lot of the things going around the greater Puget Sound area. There's a lot of lights. There's a lot of activity. There's a lot of parties. Of course, we talked about Candy Cane Lane and some of the other events, the Christmas ships. But everything seems to be coming together in one place up at the Woodland Park Zoo, Wildlights, and it's been around for a number of years. I had not had a chance to visit it until this season, and I was pretty blown away. Jim Bennett is joining us tonight. He is from the Woodland Park Zoo. I welcome you, Jim, and tell us a little bit of history about Wildlights.
Well, we've been around this is our 5th year. There's been, a number of other light celebrations in the area, and we decided it was time to do one here at Woodland Park Zoo. The zoo's well over 100 years old, and it gets a little quieter here in the winter with the rain and the colder weather, and there's stuff going on every day, but people love to see lights. So we decided to start opening at night, and we put in over 600,000 LED lights at the zoo with lots of wonderful displays and activities.
That was going to be one of my first questions. How many damn lights do you have there? And boy, you must have a heck of an electric bill.
Well, the nice thing about LED lights, now we're a conservation organization too, so we're very, very green. So the nice thing about LED lights that are, somewhat new, in the last decade, they've gotten really popular, is they use just a very small fraction of the electricity that the old-style lights that people remember from their childhood, so, and even much less than fluorescent lighting would, in terms of that. So it's a tiny percentage, and they've really perfected that technology, and we've taken great advantage of that. They're also really durable. And I used to, years ago, do a lights festival where the kids would come through and unscrew the old light bulbs at another facility that I worked at, and of course they can't do that with LED lights, so that's really nice. So they don't use the type of electricity that you might think. It's actually very, very efficient.
And it is how has it changed from year 1 to year 5? Have you added things?
We had added things. We have a physical development plant in a sense of putting in new exhibits and stuff, and we've put in new exhibits and actually a crossover path at one point. So the first year we opened, it wasn't a circular experience. You had to go to the end and then you had to walk back. And now you walk in a big loop as one part of it, which is really nice. People come to our concerts in the summer. They know about we have what we call the North Meadow, and there's a path that goes all the way around that. So we make that into a really nice experience for the lights. And then once you get through that loop, you can kind of go up past the penguin exhibit and up to what we call Snowmazium in the winter, the Zoomasium the rest of the time, but Snowmazium, we go up there, and there's fake snowball fights up there. So there's big
That was
balls.
my favorite, as a matter of fact, and I had the opportunity to going to Wildlights on the Seahawk night, and I must confess to hitting Blitz right in the beak with a snowball. But he picked up two snowballs and nailed me as well. But it's a lot of fun. They're fluffy snowballs, and it's fun for the entire family. It's not just for little kids.
Oh yeah, the adults get into it, and it gets pretty wild. In fact, it's really crowded and it gets wild in there. We actually, at the end of the evening in Snowmazium, we have story time. Kind of calms everybody down. And occasionally, if it gets a little too wild during the night, some of our folks will say, "That's time for story time. It's time for a little time out." And so we'll slow things down a little bit and tell them a holiday story, which is fun.
Jim Bennett joining us tonight on Recovery Coast to Coast. It is holiday season, and we're talking about the Wildlights at the Woodland Park Zoo. Now, what are the hours of operations, Jim?
We open at 5:30, and you can buy tickets into Wildlights until 8:30. And 8:30 we start to get people to leave, and then we get the place totally cleared out by 9. So even on a school night, it's not bad. You can get your kids home. You can come early. It's about I'd say an hour minimum experience, up to an hour and a half. And if you decide to eat something, we have these wonderful hot donuts that are freshly cooked in oil, and we have s'more kits you can buy, and we have a warm up area, and you can go there and make s'mores, and lots of other great food. You can get a whole dinner here too, and then we have drinks for kids, and we have some nice drinks for adults too, if you want to get here something with some spirits in it, or mulled wine, or kind of spiked cider, that kind of stuff too. So lots of fun stuff to imbibe in while you're looking at the lights.
And if you have little ones, I notice that you have rentals. You can rent even wagons that you can bring your kids around in.
Yeah, you can do that, and even for folks that are a little slow, older folks that might want a scooter or something like that, we take care of them at guest services too to get them around the zoo and that type of thing. So it's not a bad walk around the zoo. It's something that most people are able to do, and they can take their time, and there's no big rush. So even for folks that are a little bit older that want to take it slow, it's a great place. And there's lots of places to get warm. We've got a few of the animal exhibits open, like the Day House. You can see lots of reptiles and amphibians there, but you also get to see our tree kangaroo. And he's really an interesting guy. He's actually pretty busy at night, so that's a lot of fun to go in there, the Day House. And then we have another area where you can see some nocturnal animals, and then we have some program animals that get out, as well as raptors. So, people expect to see some animals when they come to the zoo, and we certainly can provide that too as well in the evening.
Jim, you didn't mention the reindeer.
The reindeer visit, so they're not here all year, but we do have a pair of reindeer. They're both girls, but they both have antlers, which is interesting. Okay. And the girls they have antlers. That's one of the species that they have antlers, and they lose them when they have babies, when they have calves. So, which is kind of interesting. I guess the calves need the calcium in the milk, so the moms give it up. But they're small deer. They're wonderful. They've got really thick fur, and we've got a keeper that kind of explains all about the reindeer. And it's really interesting for kids and their parents and families as well to see that.
Talking about Wildlights at the Woodland Park Zoo, and of course, if you go to the zoo, they've got a big carousel. That is also open.
The National Carousel Association has rated that one of the top 10 historic carousels in the nation.
Wow. Which
is pretty cool. It was actually built for a zoo way back in the early part of the 1900s, Cincinnati Zoo, and we eventually got it here from a gift from the Allen family locally, and wonderful folks, and built a pavilion for it. So that's beautiful during the holidays, and getting a chance to ride that is wonderful. They're all hand-carved horses. Each one is unique. And, it's a great experience in the summer, but it's a different experience at night with all the lights and everything, too. So it's great to see that out there and stuff. And, and I also wanted to mention we have Santa on the weekends. We have Santa and Santa's Camp. It's kind of an outdoor theme for Santa's Camp, so it's a little bit different than going to the department store to visit Santa. You can visit Santa at the zoo, and he is a wonderful guy. He's here on the weekends. On the week before Christmas, he's here every day right up to Christmas. So you'll be able to see him then as well.
It's a great event for families. It's at the Woodland Park Zoo. It's called Wildlights, and it's actually presented by Sound Credit Union. You have a number of sponsors that are very, very helpful, real good partners.
Yes, we do, and a lot of them will come out and table during the events too. But Sound Credit Union has been on. This is their third year. We're really, really, really happy to have them sponsoring the event, making it all possible for the people of Seattle and the outlying areas to come visit us.
Shout out to them. What are the admission charges? And of course, one of the best things about this, there is an admission charge, but the parking is free.
The parking is free, so that makes it easy for folks. The admission is $9.95 for adults and $7.95 for kids. So a lot cheaper than a movie, even.
It's a lot cheaper, and you can spend 3 or 4 hours here. You go there at 5 o'clock. You can hang out. You can have dinner. You can walk around. You can have a snowball fight. It's a great family event.
Absolutely, and then the neighborhood around here too. People can spend some time in the neighborhood too, up in Greenwood and Finney as well. So it's a great place to start your evening, and then go out and do a little shopping, and imbibe in some wonderful restaurants in the neighborhood as well.
If you go once, it will become a holiday tradition. I can guarantee you that. It's called Wildlights. It's been going on for 5 years. I just discovered it, and I can guarantee I'll be coming back next year. Wildlights at the Woodland Park Zoo. Jim Bennett, nice enough to share some information about that. He is with the Woodland Park Zoo. Thank you so much, Jim, for your time, and I wish you happy holidays.
Thank you, Neil. You too.
To find out more about Wildlights, presented by Sound Credit Union, it is at the Woodland Park Zoo. Go to zoo.org. It'll be going on through January 1st. Every single night, 5:30 to 8:30. And, of course, Santa is there on weekends, and he will be there all during Christmas week. Woodland Park Zoo's Wildlights. And, again, to find out more information, Google Wildlights or go to zoo.org. They've got all the information there, and the parking is free. I'm Neil Scott. We will be right back with more after this.